Hi, my name is Matthew Bellisario. Thanks for joining me today, folks. Today, I'm going to do kind of a news video, current releases, show you some new records that I've bought that are new releases that you may be interested in, and then also talk about the big news, the new Rolling Stones album and the new Beatles song with these new half-speed masters that are coming out. The 62 to 66 red album and then the 67 to 70 blue album. So I want to talk a little bit about that. And I also want to hear your feedback on where you guys are on these releases. Are you going to go out and buy them? What are your thoughts on the Rolling Stones and the Beatles here at this point? And what I'm going to do is talk about that as I show you some of these new records that I just purchased that are new releases that I decided to purchase. So this one here is a soundtrack by Hiromi. If you're not familiar with Hiromi, go out and check her out on YouTube. To me, one of the most engaging, fascinating, brilliant pianists out there right now, playing jazz, and I would say kind of even delving into the rock pop side of things as well. Very, very engaging player. She never seems to run out of ideas. I have most of her catalog on CD, since most of it's not available on vinyl, and several of her live DVDs. This is a soundtrack that just came out on this Blue Giant, which is based on, it's a soundtrack to an animated series. And that animated series was based on a graphic novel called Blue Giant, which is about this high school player who's graduating and getting ready to go to college or possibly go to college, but he's wanting to learn how to play saxophone and be the greatest saxophone player ever. That's what the story's about. This is a 2-record soundtrack, came directly from Japan. I ordered it online. And all the text is in Japanese on this one. So I don't know which songs she wrote or who plays on any of these songs because I don't read Japanese. So 2-record set, a lot of music on here. If you like jazz, obviously, if you like a blues and kind of some pop based, still more of a blues flavor to it, you're gonna like this. A lot of music on here. It's 180 gram vinyl. They did come in paper sleeves, so I put them in these Hudson Hi-Fi sleeves like I always do. Very quiet record, a lot of music. The first record's more 2.5, 3.5 minute songs. Second record, you've got some longer tracks on there. Kind of a mood album, but very good, and I'm enjoying listening to this. So this is a new release that I recommend checking out. Let's talk about the new Rolling Stones album in contrast to a brand new record, rock record that I bought called Sherinian Phillips Live. Now, why contrast the two? Well, let's take a look and talk about the state of rock music now in today's music industry. You either get the same old thing from the same recycled stuff that you're going to get from like an AC/DC, Neil Young, Rolling Stones, and I'm fans of the Rolling Stones. I own a lot of their records and live DVDs and been to a lot of their concerts, so I'm a Rolling Stones fan, and I'm glad to see them out there. It's kind of a mixed bag for me with this new album because I am a big fan of theirs. I'm glad they're out there at their age playing, and I'm glad they're out there at their age recording. Unfortunately for me, it's just the songs are not grabbing my attention. For me, it's just kind of the same old thing. And for those of you out there that are enjoying it, I'm glad you are. For me, it's just nothing new, and I'm not going to spend my money on this record. Rather than buy the new Rolling Stones record at 30, 35 bucks, whatever it is, I picked up this Sherinian Phillips album, and I think it was $29. It is a single record live. This is a wonderful record, very intense, very good playing. This is kind of where I am at now when it comes to rock music. I like things that are outside the box, things that are new. And these 4 guys are absolutely fantastic players, brilliant. The virtuosity with these 4 guys is at a very high level, but it's not virtuosity for the sake of being able to play fast or being able to play obscure scales and things like that. It serves the music very well. And Simon Phillips, one of my favorite drummers. You got Derek Sherinian on keyboard. You've got Ron Bumblefoot Thal on guitar, who I'm not familiar with. And then you've got the bass player, whose name is, I've never heard of him either. His name is Rick Fierrabracci. So there you have the lineup and the songs. And the insert that comes with it has a whole write-up, but the text is kind of small, but it talks about this recording. Apparently they recorded over a few nights and then picked the best tracks that they wanted to include on this. For me, my only complaint's it's not longer, and I want a Blu-ray of this performance because it looks like they're putting out songs on YouTube. It looks like they filmed a lot of this. So I'm hoping they're gonna release it on a Blu-ray DVD, or a Blu-ray film on there that I can purchase is what I'm really interested in. Again, I think it should have been longer. That's my only complaint. But as far as rock music goes, this is kind of what I'm interested in rather than the recycled stuff that you're gonna hear from the Rolling Stones, which again, that's their bread and butter. That's what they've been doing forever. Hats off to them for going back out and doing some new things. But for me, just not something I'm interested in buying. There's too many other things I'm interested in to go back and, hear the same old stuff over again. Let's talk about the Beatles, but I also want to show you this new Sonny Rollins release briefly before we talk about the new Beatles. This right here is a new 2023 release of a 1972 Helsinki concert by Sonny Rollins. He is in a quartet here. Great sounding record. 3 sides, it's 2 records, but only 3 sides of music. Very engaging, a lot of great improvisation. You hear Sonny here at, I would say, the height of his career. Of course, Sonny was always evolving. Never one of those guys that just sit back and do the same thing over and over. And he's another guy that never runs out of ideas either, kind of like Hiromi. They can go and play a solo for 10 or 15 minutes and they never seem to repeat themselves, which is remarkable. So I do recommend picking this up. It's on the SVART label and 2 records. It's not gatefold, so there's nothing to really show you there. It's just 2 records that come in black anti-static sleeves. All right, let's talk about the Beatles. Where do you guys stand on the whole Beatles thing? So what we get now, coming November 10th, I believe, is the new Beatles song, which is called Now and Then, which is John sitting and playing at the piano. Song's never been released. I guess Paul and the guys wanted to complete the song. So you have recordings by George Harrison, Paul McCartney, and Ringo Starr to complete the song. Now I listened to the song in its bare form online. It wasn't anything, to be honest with you, that was too interesting to me. And a lot of people always complain about the Beatles breaking up, but I still say they did everything that they could do in the period of time that they were together, which was basically from 62 to 70. And I think they wrote all the music that they could do. And they did a lot of varying material over that short span of time. But this right here album is, an old copy of it that I've had for a long time, and I haven't listened to this in quite a while. The new one's gonna be 3 records, and it's half-speed mastered. I'm sure they're gonna sound good. You've got an extra 9 tracks on this one, for example, and one of them is gonna be that new track. So what do you guys think? For me, am I gonna pay the $75 to go buy this again with 3 records and a new song? Probably not. But what interests me is talking about the mix, because these have been remixed, but they're not all remixed from the same session. So as they put, if you're familiar with the Beatles catalog, the recent catalog and the reissues, they've been remixing them and putting out the records over a period of several years. So for example, the new version of this, you're gonna have 2015 mixes of like Hello, Goodbye, while you'll have a 2017 mix of Penny Lane, Sgt. Pepper's with a little help from my friends. You'll have a 2018 mix of Back in the USSR, et cetera, et cetera. So you've got mixes from different times when they remix these songs. And it's gonna make a nice compilation for those of you out there that don't already own this. I think it may be a very good collection to buy. Or for those who are just starting to get into the Beatles, these 2 3 record sets may be a good place for you to go because they're going to have great mixes. I think the remasters are going to be very good. They're probably going to sound very good. So for me, it's kind of not really that interesting for me. I'm not going to go out and buy these two. It's 75 bucks a piece, spend $150 when I already own these and I don't listen to these that much anyway. It might be interesting to hear the new, how all these new, how the half-speed masters sound. But for me, I've listened to them so much throughout my life, the Beatles, that it's just not something that interests me that much. So I want to hear what you guys think about that. Last but not least, let me show you this new classical album from this new original source series by Deutsche Grammophon. I did a video about classical records a few weeks ago talking about the original source series. So I won't spend a lot of time on this, but I want to show you this one because he's one of my favorite classical pianists, Frederick Gulda. And this Mozart album is fantastic. I own it on an older version of the Deutsche Grammophon. But this is a nice 2-record set. These come in nice matte numbered editions. On the inside, you've got, like all of these come with the original source write-up. And then on the back, your recording information. And then you've got nice gatefold, matte finish. They are numbered on the back. You can see here. So this is number 433 of 3350. And these seem to go pretty quick, guys. So if you're interested in picking these up, I do recommend getting them because within a month or so, it seems like they're disappearing fairly quickly. So if you're a Mozart fan, these are fantastic recording. Piano Concertos number 25 and 27. They do come on with the anti-static sleeve. And great pressing so far. I've not listened to this one yet. I just got this one a couple of days ago and I have not been able to listen to it yet. Probably gonna do that later. But I did want to show that to you because it's a great new release that you may be interested in. So that's all I've got. I'd love to hear your comments again on the Rolling Stones, the Beatles thing. Let me know what you guys think and we'll talk to you on the next video. Take care.